team of the United States taking on the Under-18 men's national team of Uruguay.
Welcome to the 2015 Men's U18 National Training Center Invitationals. Match day 1 is set to get underway with the United States facing off against Uruguay. We're going to go down to the field for the introduction and the playing of the national anthems, and then we'll have all the call for you right here on U.S. Soccer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem of Uruguay, followed by the national anthem of the United States. The referee for today's match is Karen Abt, assisted by Cameron Blanchard and Andrew Duker. The fourth official is Adam Finney.
Captains Jonathan Klinsman meeting with Federico Valverde in midfield, along with referee Karen Abt. The USA limbering up for this U18 men's NTC Invitational. So far, the USA 4-3-1 in official matches this year, coming off a training camp where they went 1-1 against Bosnia and Herzegovina's U19 squad, losing the first match 3-1 and winning 1-0. Both goals scored by Mukwele Akale from the spot. In 2015, this U18 squad has hit 15 goals and has only given up 7. Saw most of their action in 2014 when they had 7 camps, 4 of them international, including matches against Spain and Argentina, as well as splitting a series against Germany and then winning the Václav Jezik Cup in the Czech Republic, one of the most prestigious tournaments in Europe, where the USA went 3-0. Mukwele Akale winning the MVP and winning the Golden Glove as the captain, Jonathan Klinsman, the 18-year-old, of course, the son of U.S. head coach Jurgen Klinsman, who will play his college ball at Cal next year. Uruguay comes in off of the U17 South American Championships, where they missed out by 1 point to host Paraguay in the final round. So they will not be at the U17 World Cup this summer, but plenty of the players from that squad have stepped up to the U18 team for this tournament. It's Karen Abt just checking with her assistant referees, make sure they're ready to go. And the 2015 U18 Men's NTC Invitational is underway. It's Uruguay to kick off, attacking to your right. And on the attack quickly, and safety first from Arellano. Arellano, a late addition to this camp, wasn't here when the camp started on Monday, but came in after injuries to Andrew Lombard and Marcelo Borges. And Arellano very much at home here in Carson at the StubHub Center and the National Training Center complex, as he is an LA Galaxy Academy player. And the USA trying to get it clear. Uruguay are known as La Celeste, and they're in Celeste in their light blue jerseys. And a special welcome to those of you watching in Uruguay. The visitors traveling 14 hours to get here yesterday, a 6-hour flight to Panama, an hour layover, and then 7 more hours to the U.S. And if that wasn't enough, they trained last night. Looking to get forward here through Santa Ana. Quick shot taken by Valverde, the captain. And it's blocked, but at the expense of a throw for Uruguay, doing all the attacking in the first minute and a half. Santana plays for Cerro's Academy. De la Cruz gets it inside. And there's space at the top of the box for Fernandez, who's trying to pick out the far corner, but nothing to worry. Jonathan Klinsman. It'll be a goal kick for the captain in the U.S. in the second minute. This is a U.S. side made up primarily of players from the U.S. development academies, including the MLS academies, as well as 6 players who are on pro contracts. This is Pelaez. The San Diego Surfman was asked to join Pachuca's academy in Mexico. Salcedo has 6 substitute appearances for the first team of Real Salt Lake this season. Manzaray. Pelaez. De la Cruz keeping a watchful eye on him. Swanson. Manzaray. And the Seattle gets it back to Pelaez. Ball into the channel. And it was seeking out the run of Salcedo. The Uruguayan defender was trying to shield it out, lost his footing, and decided safety first and cleared it out for the first corner kick of the game for the U.S. It'll be a call to take it. 5 players queuing up in the box for the U.S., but it's Uruguay who get their hands on it first, and skying to take it is the goalkeeper, Agustin Lopez. Hint of a missed touch from Kyle Duncan, but there to rescue the situation is Pablo Pelaez. And Akale can run. Akale skips past 2. Space out wide. Couple stepovers, creates the space for the shot, but nowhere near the goal. Good effort, though, from Coy Kraft, who scored in the last warm-up in a friendly against PSA Elite, local U.S. amateur side that actually shocked the Orange County Blues and the Ventura County Fusion, making it all the way to the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup before losing 6-1 to the LA Galaxy. That's what happens when you run up against Robbie Keane, who scored a hat trick. But the U.S. U18s coming out 2-1 winners in that game, thanks to goals from Kraft and Swanson. And it's good to see Kraft back on the field, as Kraft, who has 2 appearances for FC Dallas, was expecting to see more time with the first team as well as the U18s, but ended up getting hurt on that trip in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Back from injury. Aquele harrying. Uruguay able to get the ball forward via the far side. Good hold-up play, waiting for more blue jerseys to arrive on the scene. Duncan sticking to his task dutifully on the far side. The New York Red Bulls Academy man forces it all the way back. Fernandez, little touch to the top of the box and trying to play it in, but nobody making that diagonal run, and it's easy for Klinsman once again. Head coach Javier Perez of the U.S. all the way at the edge of his technical area, screaming at his forwards to make sure that they win the first ball. But instead it's Uruguay who win it in midfield off of Klinsmann's kick out of the back. Lindley gets it back to Swanson. The Columbus crewman, nice turn in midfield. Lindley had trouble getting it out of his feet. This is Nicolas de la Cruz. And Valverde's onside. A mistouch in the box from Arellano, but he does well to win the goal kick, kicking off the forward. So Arellano atoning for his error. And in the end, a get-out-of-jail-free card for the U.S. and Klinsmann, who will take the goal kick in the 6th minute. The number 14, Federico Valverde, plays in Peñarol's academy. Peñarol and Nacional, of course, rule the roost in the Uruguayan League. Once again, winning the Clausura and Apertura titles, Peñarol and Nacional, and will feature again in the Copa Libertadores. There's an early chance here and a weak shot in the end. Damian Weller, who just turned 18 on Thursday, didn't get all he wanted behind that. And it goes right into the arms of a grateful Klinsmann. Good distribution to Salcedo for his pass, looking for Pelaez. De la Cruz. Oh, that's a lovely ball threaded through. Santana has gotten forward here. Not a bad cross to the back post, but nobody attacking that back stick. And in the end, it will roll all the way out for a throw on the far side for the U.S. But Federico Valverde, at just 17, was one of the 6 members of that 2015 U17 South American Championship squad. Won the silver boot in that tournament, had 7 goals in 9 games. De la Cruz gets on the right side of his defender, but just overcooks his pass, and Klinsmann will come out and take once again. So it's everything but that final ball in the early going here for Uruguay. And once again, good distribution from Klinsmann. Chipped over, looking for the run of Kraft. And the FC Dallas man was trying to find Manzarri in the box. Javier Perez saying that Victor Manzarri is probably one of the most improved players over this cycle. Came in late, has only been with the team for a year. Well, most of these players have been with the team since 2014. And he said that since Manzarri has gotten opportunities not only with Seattle's first team, but with the Sounders too, he is really engaged in the mental part of the game a lot more. So big praise coming from Javier Perez, former coach in the Real Madrid youth system. Salcedo directing traffic once again, continued his run. And stepping in was Matias Rodriguez. Second corner kick of the game for the U.S. This one will come from the far side. So both teams have looked dangerous when they've gone attacking early on. It's been an end-to-end game here so far. So this is technically the first game of the U18 NTC. Was a friendly earlier as Xolos squad of Tijuana played the Czech Republic U18 squad to a 1-1 draw. This will be an outswinger from the far side. Played in, was looking for Salcedo. Didn't catch it correctly, and Uruguay could break here. And Duncan does well to quell the counterattack, and safety first from the New Jersey native. Excuse me, the Brooklyn native. Santana will give it all the way back to his keeper. Swanson. Little touch on for Akale. Kraft on the far side. Akale and Salcedo will look to pull the strings. Swanson. Chance for Manzarri. Puts it over. Had the goal gaping. But a good flowing move from the U.S. to create the first genuine opportunity of the game, and it came in the 10th minute. But Mansarai unable to apply the finish, and you can see the frustration on his face. Great pass as the ball was worked inside out, and Swanson played it inside for Mansarai, and he knows he should have done better with that. Ended up skying it way over the crossbar in the end. Lopez had cement shoes on that one, was stuck to his line. Mansarai went for power. Perhaps placement would have been the better option. One back by Lindley. Swanson trying to play it through, and Mansarai saw the run late. Well stepped in by Lindley again, and a bit of a heavy touch from Akale. But Duncan, sky's highest to win that first header, has the ball poked away from him, however, and Uruguay could be in business here on the counter. Calling for the offside flag, it stays down and played across, but nobody making the run into the box in a sky blue jersey, and the USA escape. And Apt calls a free kick when perhaps the referee could have played advantage. Nevertheless, set piece from a very dangerous position for Uruguay. So great opportunity, and perhaps needs to be a little more selfish there. At least if you're going to play that across, need to pick your head up and make sure that there are players running into the box. In the end, Pablo Pelaez was back and was able to make the clearance. And now Klinsmann has set up a four-man wall. Federico Valverde standing all alone over this one, trying to curl it to the upper corner, and it took a deflection off the wall, so it does its job, but it's the first corner kick of the game for Uruguay. Six players camped out in the box for the visitors. The in-swinger from the far side. And the idea was there trying to flick it on, but well over Klinsmann's goal in the end. However, had that flick on been played in the right area, it could have been real trouble for the U.S. In the end, Gonzalo Pereira, the 18-year-old out of Danubio, was unable to get his header back across goal. Call from Perez is quicker. Akale plays his club ball for Villarreal's reserves. On the verge of cracking the first team in La Liga, Akale. Nice little ball dinked in from Pelaez, but it's well defended. Damian Weller. Oh, that's a poor ball back. Can the U.S. take advantage? Akale. Lindley keeps it, gets it back to Swanson. Duncan jumps into the attack. And the U.S. doing a good job to keep the ball here, moving it from side to side. Pelaez has space to pick out his early cross. It's a good ball. But a foul will be called against Mansarai, and it will be a free kick at the top of the box for Uruguay. Good early service from Pelaez, but that run to the back post needs to be made quicker. Nicolas Rodriguez at 16 years of age, wearing the number 13 jersey, the youngest player on this Uruguay squad, but was a member of that U17 South American Championship side. They topped Group B and then went into the final round robin and finished in 5th place, just a point behind host Paraguay, and ended up missing out on the U17 World Cup later this summer. Long ball played through, looking for Rossi. Good work from Lindley. That one over the head of Duncan, so it'll be a throw-in for Uruguay in the 15th minute. Puig quickly looking for Pereira. Both teams doing a good job in possession, knowing when to keep the ball and when to press forward. Nicolas Rodriguez to another Nicolas and De La Cruz. De La Cruz has cracked into the game day roster for the first team at Liverpool in Uruguay, but has not yet made his debut in the Premier Division. Well stepped in by Pinedo. However, still defensive work to do as the ball comes in and Arellano gets the vital touch. Uruguay pouring forward once again. Santana, deft ball into the channel, trying to play it across, but the ball had already crossed the end line as Uruguay run out of real estate. And it'll be a goal kick for Klinsmann, but they're looking more and more dangerous here, Uruguay. You can see almost getting to it was the captain, but the ball had already crossed the line. Swanson pushes it out wide. Long searching ball looking for Kraft. Somehow gets through the line. Keeper all the way at top of his box. Mansarai puts it over again. Coy Kraft did all the hard work. Bursting through that back line. Saw the keeper come out and cut down the angle. Played it back for Mansarai. And frustration for him, he could have 2 goals by now. That by no means an easy finish. However, the U.S. showing that they can unlock this Uruguayan defense. Valverde. Good idea, but the offside flag is up. But you can see the gears always turning in Valverde's head, always looking for that ball to pierce that back line. And not sure how Kraft got through there. Good job to muscle off his defender and the smart ball to lay it back because he didn't have the angle for the shot. But Mansarai couldn't apply the finish. Pelaez with time to bring it down. Rossi closing him down. A good ball into the channel for Salcedo. The Real Salt Lake man gets it back to Pelaez. Great combination with Salcedo Pelaez. But stepping in and winning the ball is Viston Fernandez. And Fernandez wins the free kick. So the 17-year-old Agustin Lopez comes out to take this free kick. Goalkeeper waiting for his midfield and forward line to get up. Swanson looking for that early ball to Kraft. Kraft in a foot race with Santiago Perez. And Perez does well to force him back. Duncan. Good passing triangles being formed by the United States, but Swanson wants to take the space. Now he'll play it back for Lindley. Carmel, Indiana native, who plays for the Chicago Fire Academy, has had trials in Europe in both Portugal and Belgium. Pelaez. Lindley once again. And that one a bit forced, but Swanson may get on the end of it. And a nice touch to elude the challenge of Rodriguez, or Federico Valverde rather. Poor ball, won back by Rossi in midfield. Uruguay attacking with 5. Valverde. Nice little flick from the Preñoro man. Wiston Fernandez. Mansarai continuing to chase. As this one comes all the way through to the 16-year-old Nicolas Rodriguez. Not a bad ball seeking out Rossi, but it's cleared away by Arellano, who's stuck to his task well. 20 minutes in and 0-0 between the U.S. and Uruguay. Both teams have created their chances, but neither side able to apply the finishing touch. The best two chances of the game have fallen to Victor Mansaray, but he's put both efforts over the goal. De La Cruz thought about having a go. That's a better option out wide. Space for the shot, and Duncan closing down. Good work by Mansaray, coming all the way back to help out his defense. Akale thought he was fouled by De La Cruz. Referee says play on. And smartly headed back by Fernandez to Lopez. Alejandro Garay, the head coach of Uruguay's U18s, said that his biggest thing for these three matches for his players was to limit their touches. This is a team that loves to run with the ball. He wants to see possession, possession, possession. But of course, when you're attacking, take as many touches as you need. Space in the box. Rossi, little touch off. Trying to spin as the number 10, Damian Weller, plays it back and Fernandez shoots high. Uruguay happy with the build-up play, but the final ball needs to be better at both ends. Is Winston Fernandez coming all the way up from his outside back position, getting in the center to take that one. And lean back at the most vital of moments. That's why he was unable to keep it on target. Did well to run through that ball, but if you lean back or hesitate just a bit, you're going to lose that accuracy and the ability to keep it low. Good flick on once again from Federico Valverde. U.S., however, winning every 50-50 ball as Duncan ventures forward here. Chip over the top, but Kraft unable to make the run. Good job by Kraft, though. Fought through the challenge, got around a man, and then forced that ball out of bounds. Just the pressure he applied to force that error. That's why you run after balls you really have no right getting to. Pelaez. De La Cruz stabs it away from him, but it will be a throw-in for the 17-year-old. De La Cruz wins it off of Akale, muscles him off the ball. Damian Weller plays it to the far side. Oh, what a ball that is, looking for Rossi, but coming over in cover was Mauricio Pineda, and he did well to shield it for his keeper. Klinsmann's distribution for the first 23 minutes has been spot on. Plays it out once again. Could spring something here for Mansaray, but that pass just a bit overcooked. Too much from the center back. Can Akale take advantage? Mansaray. It's all very narrow for the U.S. at the moment. Salcedo was all alone on this near side, but they couldn't find him. Now Pelaez does. Oh, lovely footwork from Salcedo. Can see why he's already cracked the first team on several occasions with Real Salt Lake. And this is Akale. Good job to step in and win the ball from Nicolas Rodriguez, but he's dispossessed once again. Wins the ball well, but needs to realize when to get it off his feet. Bit of a heavy touch from Duncan, and he'll have to recover. Good tackle, as if he didn't get to that one, he would have been in real trouble, as Gonzalo Pereira would have been off and running. Rodriguez has been strong on the defensive end. Rodriguez has had some trouble in trying to go forward. And good combination play once again. The space is on for Santa Ana. So is the shot. Pinballs off Arellano. Mansaray wins the first ball. Kraft loses out to Perez. The ball played into the channel for Rossi. Waiting for blue jerseys to arrive in the box. Rossi, textbook one-on-one defending for Mauricio Pineda. The center back can score goals too. He scored 2 goals in the split against Germany in that 2-game series. at the end of last year. Pineda and Ariano having to deal here with lovely combination play from the Uruguayans, and this time it's Pelaez sliding over into the middle to make the crucial clearance. You can see the passing just too quick for the U.S. defense. They're finding holes in that back line. But Pelaez getting a touch. A good ball in. Klinsmann came for it and missed it. And Akale gets flipped in the air, and it will be a free kick at the top of the box for the U.S. Akale was discovered in Spain when this U18 squad went to the Copa Atlantico, where they played both Spain and Argentina. Akale had the likes of Real Madrid and Villarreal, as well as other squads in Europe, on his radar. Chose Villarreal for their track record of putting youth players into the first team, something he didn't see happening at the likes of Real Madrid or some of the other bigger clubs in Europe. Villarreal, of course, still one of the biggest clubs in Europe as well. Before that, he was with the Minnesota Thunder, Mukwele Akale. Damian Weller unable to turn. Mansaray brings the ball down. Plays so well with his back to goal, Mansaray, holding that ball and bringing other players into the attack. Good skill from Salcedo. Santana working feverishly but concedes the foul.
Let's move. Turn. Jonah, I need you to play faster.
Kale with a little touch on for Duncan on the far side. Unable to spin away from Federico Valverde. Thrown for Uruguay, looking for the Danubio striker and Gonzalo Pereira. And Uruguay will creep further forward via the throw-in. So this is a team made up of the 6 players that played at the U17 South American qualifiers and 12 players that played in another tournament in Korea. And then were integrated into this 18-man squad that Uruguay brought to the U.S. for this tournament. Had a domestic camp before coming out here at the Complejo Celeste. 2 friendlies, first against Atletico Florida, a 13-0 win for the U18s, and then a 2-2 draw against Uruguay's U23 side that is now in Toronto at the Pan Am Games. Another free kick. A chance to swing the ball in for Uruguay in the 29th minute. As Gonzalo Pereira has come all the way over to the sidelines to change his shoes. Valverde will float this one in. It's deep to the back post, and it's catching practice for Klinsmann in the end, despite the attention of Rodriguez. Cheaply given away by Akale. But his defense makes up for it, and now the U.S. can break. Salcedo has found a pocket of space. Trying to get through Salcedo. Taken down by Santana, and wouldn't be surprised if that's the first card of the game. So Santana, the first player to go into Karen App's book. And it might be a stretch, but you could argue that that's the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. It was pretty heavily weighted ball, but if he doesn't get taken down there, Salcedo, he might be able to get through and is in one-on-one against Lopez. So once again, you see, if he gets there, he's going to get across Lopez and put that into an empty net. So Santana, some could argue, would be very lucky to still be on the field. But Karen Apt brandishing just the yellow card. And a real chance for the USA to break the deadlock here on the half-hour mark. Salcedo and Lindley over the ball. Macaulay in the vicinity as well. Looks like it's going to be Salcedo. Expertly struck, but a tremendous save from the agile goalkeeper, Agustin Lopez.
Issued in the 30th minute to number 9. I'm sorry, number
Salcedo,
4,
you can't really hit that much better. Had the placement, just not enough power. And Uruguay have their elastic keeper to thank for the fact that it's still 0-0 in the 31st minute. Third corner kick of the game for the U.S. Doesn't beat the first defender. And play back in. Over once again. And it was Salcedo with the shot. Good snapshot, but it was always rising. Looked like he might have tweaked something, but he's up and running, Salcedo. Akale. The Uruguayan midfield has allowed Akale, Swanson, and Lindley to see a lot of the ball, and that's where the U.S. are fashioning their chances from. Of course, right as I say that, Uruguay win it back, but Rossi's in an offside position. And he sees the flag go up against him, so it'll be a free kick for the U.S. Good work by Pineda and Arellano, the two center backs, to orchestrate that back line and make sure that everybody's step is in unison. So this is the last camp and the last tournament of the cycle for these 97s. And they could be in trouble here. Good tackle from Pineda, taking that ball away from Pereira. Sprayed out wide from Arellano for Pelaez, who wins the throw-in. Next camp will be in August, but it will be the 99s who are in as the new US U18s. So for these players, another chance at this level to impress Tab Ramos as they look to move up to the U20 squad that's going to look to qualify for the next World Cup after falling in the quarterfinals to eventual champion Serbia in the penalty shootout. As Pelaez took a heavy hit, and he's down behind the play, able to get up. As play continues further on, Salcedo floats into the back post looking for Kraft, who overran it. But he's able to rescue it in the corner and win the fourth corner kick of the game for the U.S. Ooh, and that should be a red card. The assistant referee on this near side, Cameron Blanchard, was right there. Perhaps was looking forward at the play, but that's a definite stamp as Pelaez is getting up. You can understand why Pelaez screamed in agony. Because once again, the corner kick doesn't beat the first defender. It's the main principles of corner kick. If you don't beat that first defender, you're not going to have any opportunities. And now Pelaez showing his frustration, and the ball stayed in, and instead of continuing his run, Federico Valverde looked like he wanted to go back at Pelaez. He could have continued his run. And that's certainly a bit of retaliation from Pelaez. So Pelaez stopping Valverde in the most unorthodox of ways, but Valverde should continue to chase after that ball rather than turn around and ask for a foul. Nevertheless, he has a chance to swing the ball into the melting pot. It's the Uruguayan captain to tease it into the mix. It's a good ball in. Hit off the U.S. last in the referee's point of view. Second corner kick of the game for the Uruguayans. Damian Weller to take the corner kick. Pereira comes in short, turns and quickly swings it in. Free header, and the opening goal for the Uruguayans. And it's the center back, Nicolas Rodriguez. Nobody saw the short corner. Pereira turned around, realized he had the space, and it was an easy finish in the end. Klinsmann left for dead. And it's the South Americans who have the 1-0 lead in the 36th minute. We'll have to get confirmation. I believe it was Rodriguez on the goal, but it could also very well be Martin Amuz. Nevertheless, the U.S. looking for a response inside these final 10 minutes of the first half. Salcedo. We'll get confirmation of the goal in just a second.
In the 36th minute from number 3, Martin Amuz.
And it is number 3, Martin Amuz. Pereira with the good service in, and nobody in Mark Amuz. It's a center back scoring on the set piece. This one flicked in for Mansaray. And this time it is Nicolas Rodriguez, the 16-year-old, guilty of the foul. The only Nacional man on this squad, Nicolas Rodriguez. Lindley taking his time, waiting for Nicolas de la Cruz to back up. Pereira is back defending as well. And the cavalry is up from the back, and Arellano and Pineda. Lindley floats it toward the back post. Lopez is out and smartly lets it go over his head and out of bounds. Goal kick for Uruguay in the 39th minute. One nothing Uruguay. Final 6 minutes plus change of this first half. Goal coming off a corner kick, played short, and the U.S. defense falling asleep. And Martin Amuz, coming up from his center back position, was left all alone in front of Jonathan Klinsmann. All it required was a touch and a chance for number 2 here on the break. Clipped to the back post. That pass just a bit off kilter. Still might fall kindly here. Bought down when perhaps a first shot would have been better. Smartly played by Rossi. Pereira is onside. Clips it in again. And unable to make contact with it at the back post. Fernandez pushes it forward. Perez pushes the pace. Valverde. Given away by Lindley. One-on-one against Klinsmann. And Klinsmann gets down well. U.S. under real pressure here in the 40th minute. Conceding possession in the back and almost made to pay, but the keeper comes to the rescue. Good cross. Chance for De La Cruz. Hit his volley well, but right at Klinsmann. Quickly out to the extreme of his penalty area. And Duncan looking to get forward here for the U.S. Inside the final 5 minutes of first half regulation. Duncan spins away from his man. The USA need to reestablish possession in midfield. That's where they're creating their chances from. Salcedo has shaped out wide. looking to run against his defender, but he did the job. De La Cruz. Santana. It's on a yellow card, Santana. Long ball looking over the top. Arellano able to get a touch. Great job by Pereira to harry and hassle the back line of the U.S., and he wins the throw-in. So the U.S. need to do a better job of building out of the back, even if they're under pressure. Santana checks to see if he's onside. He certainly is, and it was a good cross in, and Klinsmann decisive in punching away. Once again, though, nobody crashing that back stick for Uruguay. Still a throw-in. Santiago Perez coming up to take. Plays his club ball for River Plate in Uruguay. Not the River Plate of Argentina. Rodriguez. Pushes it out wide. Santana. De La Cruz. Kraft flicks it on for Manzaray, but he's beaten to the ball. Good touch from Rossi. Takes himself out wide, but keeps possession for Uruguay. Oh, and a deft chipped in. A chance for the number 10. Didn't get any purchase behind the shot. De La Cruz. Santana. Steps inside once again, Santana. And that's a tremendous tackle in the box. And the U.S. looking to break, but the ball will go all the way through for Lopez. And Lopez will wait and force Manzaray to come all the way up. Perez asking Salcedo to pressure a bit higher. He wants his side to pressure higher up the field. Javier Perez. And you can see the result there as they win it back. Kraft on the far side. Kraft once again. The FC Dallas man was trying to find a Kale on the far side. Good job by Duncan to step up. Wins the first ball. Has to retreat on the second. Damian Weller. Uruguay content to pass their way out of traffic, and they do just that. De La Cruz lets it go for Santana. De La Cruz takes the inside route. Good double team from Lindley. And the U.S. could be in business. And Akale bought down from behind. And now Akale in some real distress. And the trainer being called to run right away. You can see he's in some real pain. And once again, that could be a yellow card. It's a tactical foul to stop the counterattack from behind. Kale pushed down, had about 20 yards of space in front of him. How has Karen App not gone to her book there? And Kale really the driving force behind this U18 squad. Javier Perez said of him that his ability to see passes and play quickly in tight spaces is what separates him from the majority of U.S. players. And the good news is that he's back up on his feet and walking off under his own power. So Akale looks to be okay. And a chance for players to grab a drink of water as the clock hits 45 minutes. So just waiting to see how much stoppage time will be added on to the end of this first half. 2 minutes, says the fourth official. And Akale quickly back to the center, and we'll wait for the referee's permission to come back in. Four players at the top of the U.S. box, but instead it's played short to Salcedo. Salcedo cuts inside, was looking for the shot. De La Cruz flung himself in front of it. Plays it forward. Rossi on his bike. Cuts behind Lindley, but can't get past Swanson. And a good job to come back and help defend from Salcedo. Pelaez. Quick little touch back from Cameron Lindley. Pelaez. Arellano switches it for Duncan on the far side. Weller coming over to police him. The U.S. moving the ball from side to side, but a minute and 15 seconds has elapsed here. If the U.S. wants to get one or two more chances and before this half ends, they're going to have to go forward. The Uruguayans doing a great job to keep their shape. And so far, the U.S. can't break through the first line. Headed away before Manzaray could get there. Pereira turns in space. Kyle Duncan gets back but loses out. But off a blue jersey last, and it will be a goal kick inside the final 10 seconds of the minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time for Klinsmann in the U.S. The long ball forward, Manzaray touching it on, but that will do it for the first half. Martin Amuz's free header midway through the first half from a short corner kick, and the ball sent in from Pereira, and all Amuz had to do was get his head on it and direct it toward goal, and he did just that. And at halftime, it's the U.S. 0 and Uruguay 1. We're going to take a break up here in the booth, but we'll be back with you for the final 45 minutes. You are watching the 2015 U18 Men's NTC Invitational on U.S. Soccer and U.S. Soccer's YouTube page. We're all set for the second half here between the United States and Uruguay. The U.S. making 2 substitutions as Sebastian Elney is coming in for Victor Mansaray. And Jackson Yule will also replace Mukwele Akale. 6 substitutions allowed at the 2015 Men's U18 NTC. And the U.S. using 2 of them to start the second half. No changes for Uruguay to start the second half as they have a 1-0 lead, courtesy of a 36-minute goal from Marta de Muz. Jackson Yule, out of the Minnesota Thunder Academy, gives it off to Sebastian Elney, and the Philadelphia Union Academy man plays it back. Final 45 minutes of match day 1 here at the NTC Invitational at Glenn Mooch Mironick Field, the main U.S. training field for all the U.S. national teams. U.S. really bossed parts of that first half. Uruguay back into the game and then fell asleep on the corner kick, in which it was played short to Pereira. Pereira crossed it in, and a free header for Martin Amuz. And having to defend another cross there is the U.S. and Uhl trying to get back before Damian Weller. But the U.S. defense doing a good job to hunt and pack and force that ball back. Nicolas de la Cruz crosses it in. Arellano clears it to safety. The U.S. were very dangerous, attacking down the middle through the likes of Swanson and Lindley. And then when they got the ball out wide to Sebastian Bofo Salcedo, he was dangerous as well. However, as soon as Uruguay closed down the middle of the field, U.S. really kind of lost their way a little bit, and that's when Uruguay got back in the game. And for all the talk of possession from head coach Alejandro Garay, this is an Uruguay team that when they attack, just put their foot on the gas and go forward as quickly as they can. Don't really keep the ball, just 2 or 3 passes to get it forward and try and break down this back line. And they have the first corner kick of the second half for either team, 3rd of the game for them. And this time the U.S. is alert. And Captain Valverde tried to play it in, rather just dribbles it over the end line. So it'll be a goal kick for Jonathan Klinsmann. His distribution has been spot on all game, Klinsmann. Every single throw or kick has been right to a player in a white jersey, and usually right to their feet as well. As the flag is up on the far side, meaning the ball went out of bounds, so it'll be a goal kick for Uruguay and Agustin Lopez, the 17-year-old out of the Defensor Academy. Klinsmann made 2 big saves in the first half. Watching here, Salcedo was unable to keep it in bounds. You could see the whole ball going out just before he got his foot to it. Lopez will send it forward. Kyle Duncan comes flying in. And the goal scorer, Moose, will let it go out of bounds. And he will leave the throw-in off for Santiago Perez, taking it about 5 yards ahead of where that ball actually went out. But it's right to Duncan. Was trying to head it forward for the substitution, Yule. Yule was named to the USDA Central Conference Best 11. As the U.S. look to start the attack down the far side with Pelaez. Was dangerous when he got forward, has shown he can serve in a quality ball, Pelaez. Swanson. Kraft did well to keep that in, working with Duncan. And Gonzalo Pereira coming over in cover. First touch of the game for Elney. Beautiful back heel to get it off to Kraft. Kraft has created a half yard of space, but drags his shot wide. And Lindley was screaming for it on the far side. Good work from Kraft, and forwards will always take their opportunities when presented. Perhaps could have picked up his head and seen that there was one more pass available. If he gets that on target, though, we're not having that conversation. De La Cruz. Push forward looking for Rossi. And Rossi trying to get through again. You can see Uruguay really pushing the tempo, trying to play that ball to their forwards as quick as possible. And now venturing into the attack is Perez. No foul, says the referee, and play will continue. Good tracking back by Coy Kraft. Long ball looking for Elney, flicks it on, but nobody making the run in behind him. Bofo trying to chase it down. De La Cruz with a little touch back. Valverde knifing his way through the midfield. Valverde, little touch out wide, but it doesn't time. Tremendous from De La Cruz to keep that in bounds. And now Pereira has worked his way back into the midfield. Perez. All of the Uruguayan bench is up and going through their paces, so expect Alejandro Garay to hit the switch on his first few substitutions soon. As this time Klinsmann stays on his line and it forces Arellano to clear it to safety. De La Cruz. Federico Valverde. Time to bring it down. Gets it back, Valverde. Tremendous interplay in tight spaces from this Uruguayan squad. But a good job by Swanson to step in and make sure nothing comes of it. However, good high pressure, not allowing the U.S. to get out. Now they finally do. Attacking 2 against 5. Kraft has joined the party on this far side. Elney overlaps him, and Kraft taken down with a hard challenge. And it'll be a free kick from a very dangerous position. And we saw what Salcedo did with the last one, almost scoring, save for a tremendous save by Agustin Lopez. It's a great job by Kraft to get in on the action and then tried to play back out wide for Elney, who made the overlap as Kraft cut inside. And really a silly foul to concede there. 2 Uruguay players in front of the ball, and the ball going out wide to the least dangerous part of the field per that counterattack. So instead of having to deal with a possible cross, the possibility of a straight shot on goal and plenty of players looking to pounce on the rebound. So it's Salcedo again. The wall swallows it up. Salcedo puts it in toward the back post, and the header flashes just wide of goal. No, it was Arellano, the center back, almost answering for the U.S. As the ball came back to Salcedo, had the presence of mind to put it back across. And Arellano came flying in and just couldn't put his header on target. Trying to place it to that far corner and very nearly did. The U.S. has had the better of the chances in this game between Salcedo's free kicks and 2 missed opportunities from Victor Mansaray. Could be a very different story here, but instead it's Uruguay leading 1-0 in the 54th minute. And this is better from the U.S. Pelaez gets free down the far side. Kraft was late in making the run to the back post. Uruguay so adept at breaking that high pressure from the U.S. as Weller continues his run. Pereira, one-on-one against Arellano. Still going Pereira, quick snapshot. Always rising. Nothing to trouble Klinsmann in the end. Good job by Ariano to stay in front of him. As there's a player down on the near side for Uruguay, just behind the halfway line. And it looks to be Santiago Perez. The 17-year-old, a member of that 2015 U17 South American squad. Getting some of that magic spray. All the substitutes are off the bench and warming up, so if one needs to come in, you have to feel that they're ready. A chance for players to get water. As there's the shot. Ariano did well to step in front and make sure that Pereira had to fire it from an angle, and then you can see just at the bottom corner of your screen, Santiago Perez was really struggling and in the end had to go down. But he's up and walking under his own power, and looks like he's going to go straight to the center line. Thumbs up to the fourth official. Let him know that he's ready to come back in once he receives the go-ahead from Karen Abt. So for a split second or so, the Uruguayans will be down to 10 men. And Perez is back on the field, 11v11. USA starting to see more of the ball here in this second half. We're really causing the Uruguayans trouble to start this game. But then the visitors dominated it the second part of the first half, and were able to get that goal in the 36th minute via the set piece. Stolen away by Nicolas de la Cruz. Looking to make Yule pay. Inside for Weller. Weller taken out wide, puts it across goal. It was useful, but the U.S. able to deal with it. Lindley. Lovely low-driven ball for Pelaez on the far side. Into space for Salcedo. Just a bit too far ahead of him, and Uruguay will overtake. That pass too easily telegraphed, and Swanson was able to step in the passing lane. And here's Swanson. Elney checks into the pocket of space. And this is better from the U.S. Quick shot. And that one too tall. Good take, though, from Jackson Yule. Why not when you have the space? But, of course, if you're looking to test the keeper, need to at least get it on target. Lopez has had one huge save, and that was in the first half, off of a free kick from Salcedo that looked destined for the upper near corner. But a good flying save from the defensor man to push it wide of his goal. Still battling on the far side, Pelaez with Pereira, and off of Pereira Rast in the assistant referee's point of view. Andrew Duker manning that far side. But it's Uruguay coming at the U.S. once again. All the way back to Klinsmann. Klinsmann will have time to pick out his pass. Salcedo was trying to shield it out of bounds. De La Cruz went down, claiming that he took an elbow from Pelaez. And it looks to me like Karen Abt, she has her yellow card out. Didn't actually see her raise it, though. Here's the battle, and well, I don't know if he caught him in the face. It certainly looked like he pushed him in the back, but then we'll have to wait for confirmation as to whether or not Pelaez went into the book. That's the second time that he's kind of bull rushed somebody instead of shielding them off in the proper manner. Nevertheless, Pelaez wins the header. Federico Valverde wins it back.
Yellow card for
Rossi.
USA issued
Space on for Pereira.
to number
And it's a flex in.
Elias.
Pereira will get it. A goal and an assist for him. 2 goals for Uruguay. And on the hour mark, could that be the goal that gives the Celeste all 3 points? Well, the shot was deflected, but it was going goalward the whole time. Off of Arellano, up and over and into the net. Klinsmann, absolutely nothing he could do. And now the question is whether the officials will give it as a goal for Pereira or an own goal to Arellano. And it would be really harsh on Arellano if they did. Shot was going goalward. The only question is, would it have been savable, rather, for Klinsmann? Had Arellano not gotten his foot to it.
Goal in the 60th minute for Uruguay, scored by number 9, Martin Pereira.
And Pereira will get the goal, so a goal and an assist for Uruguay's number 9. The Uruguay with goals in the 36th and 60th minute. U.S. head coach Javier Perez said that he was expecting a very combative team. And he's certainly seeing that fight here from Las Churuas. And this is Rossi. Had 3 goals at the Under-17 South American Championships. Weller looking inside for De La Cruz. And remember, that goal all started because Pablo Pelaez was trying to shield the ball out of bounds, and rather than shielding it, went through the back of De La Cruz, led to the free kick that started that move, from which Uruguay scored. And now at the moment, Uruguay just putting tons and tons of pressure on the players with the ball, not allowing the U.S. out of their own end. They win another throw-in as they keep it in the U.S.'s half. Swanson able to win it. Salcedo unable to fight his way through. Perez eating up grass on this near side. Weller. Twisting and turning, getting away from Kraft. And it was flicked away before it could find the feet of Pereira. Long ball looking for Elney. Smartly headed back to his keeper from Amuz. Good pressure from Elney, though. Once again, forcing it back. And the errant clearance as well, but Uruguay first to every 50-50 ball at the moment. Swanson wins this one. And a good header played with a purpose from Wieston Fernandez. Played forward for Rossi, but a heavy touch allows Klinsmann to come out and claim. Remember, this is the last camp of the cycle for these U18s who will next go into the U20 pool. Kyle Duncan. It's Haji Wright getting set to check in. 17-year-old Wright coming back from injury. Oh, that's a beautiful ball flicked through. And doing just enough was Martin Amuz. The goal scorer getting the job done on the defensive end as well as Elney was lurking. But it will be the 5th corner kick of the game, or make that, yes, the 5th corner kick of the game for the U.S. And the cavalry is up from the back. Pineda, who had a pair of goals against Germany, and Arellano is in there as well, along with Elney and Salcedo making a delayed run. It comes to Salcedo, was looking to hit it, but it was well read. Valverde pushes it forward. And Pinedo too tactile for the referee's liking. Lucatero getting set to check in, and we could see a triple substitution. As this time Uruguay out of the starting gates and the offsides flag goes up. Not only Haji, but Lucatero and James Murphy as well. All three getting set to come in to see if they can change the complexion of the game for the U.S., who trailed by 2 goals in the 65th minute. U.S. unable to chisel their way down the far flank. De La Cruz. Uruguay looked to be preparing a double substitution as well, but the U.S. continue to attack. Good side step and a shot. And once again, getting down well is the keeper, Agustin Lopez. Then Elney had every right to go for that ball, but he did get a bit of Lopez, and Lopez is in a bit of discomfort. Up quickly, though, Lopez. Another good save from him at full stretch. Second time he's really been called into action in this game. So it was well hit, and this time he was tested. Yule trying to play it over the top. So substitutions 3, 4, and 5 getting set to check in for the U.S. Pineda gets it back to his keeper. Kraft. Little touch on for Duncan. But Perez was equal to the task. And here comes the triple substitution as first Kraft will come off and Haji will come on. Javier Perez telling me that Haji will play at the U17 World Cup this summer. Lindley's night is also done in the 67th minute. And on comes Christian Lucatero, who will play his college ball at Oregon State this fall. And Sebastian Bofo Sacedo, perhaps the most dangerous player for the U.S. this afternoon, comes out as well.
Hey.
And checking in for him is Emmanuel Sabi. So Sabi instead of Murphy. And now Uruguay getting set to flick the switch on their first substitutions of the evening. And it's Rossi who checks out, and Juan Ramirez, who plays for Liverpool's academy, comes in. Once again, Liverpool in Uruguay. And Damian Weller, who just turned 18 on Thursday. Birthday present for him if Uruguay can pick up all 3 points here. He is out. And coming in is Gonzalo Canti, the Danubio midfielder. Good header won by the New York Red Bull man, Kyle Duncan.
For the United States, entering the game, number 16, Haji Wright. Leaving the game, number 3, Coy Kraft.
Haji Wright coming in for Coy Kraft. Wright has spent time in Schalke 04's academy. And here is the first look at Wright. Amu's doing just enough.
Entering the game, number 24, Christian Lucatero. Leaving the game,
And Haji Wright, who plays for the New York Cosmos. He's been loaned to the reserve team where he spent most of his time in the NPSL. But still, such a huge coup for the Cosmos to get such a promising player in Haji Wright.
Entering the game, 15, Gonzalo Canti. Leaving the game, Damian Waller.
Emmanuel Sabi plays for the Chicago Magic. Just like Jackson Ewell was named to the USDA Central Conference Best 11. Still 17-year-old Emmanuel Sabi. Ariano spins and gives the ball right back to Uruguay. And way offside this time. Javier Perez said he wants a team that is able to adapt its style, its system of play, its formation in order to break down teams that are going to defend them differently. That's one of the reasons they went over to Bosnia and Herzegovina, was to play against a more physical side and see how they could break them down. But so far, they have not figured out how to unlock this Uruguay defense tonight. As it's 3-on-3 going the other way. Low cross in. And safety first from Ariano. Corner kick for Uruguay. Just their 4th of the game. 2nd of this half. Good run, and it was Pineda who got there first, and just making sure. Needs to be more communication. If Klinsmann can come out and get that, or if there's no Uruguay players on the prowl, then he can settle that and bring it out, or he can let it go through for his keeper. Instead, the U.S. have to deal with a corner. 71st minute. U.S. trailing 2-0. Lead could be extended here. Pelaez did well to get a foot in and put off that effort. It was Fernandez who was looking to hit it but didn't catch it cleanly. Well, the whole idea of the U18 setup is to bridge that gap from the U17 team that, of course, has the CONCACAF Championships and the U17 World Cup, and the U20 side. That goes through the same process as well, and 2 reasons for Javier Perez and this U18 squad is, 1, he wants to build a huge player pool and get as many looks as he can at players in between that gap for Tab Ramos and the U20 squad. And then the second is to get them international experience so that when they step into that U20 side, they're ready. And Javier Perez has certainly done that in this cycle. Has brought 86 players into the pool over these 2 years. And has also played against the likes of Argentina, Spain, Germany. Winning a huge tournament in the Czech Republic last year as well. Beating Hungary, the Czech Republic, who they'll face in this tournament, and the Ukraine in the finals. So these players will be ready for the U20 side if called in by Tab Ramos. And Ramos now has a good pool to call upon thanks to Javier Perez. Duncan, smart ball into the channel. And that's better combination play from the U.S., but once again, the Uruguayan defense too strong. And the long ball over the top. Klinsmann well out of his goal. Is still trying to win it, Klinsmann. He's muscled off of it. It's played to De La Cruz. There's a U.S. player down. Klinsmann's back in his goal. Uruguay still going. Little touch onto the far side. Played back across. De La Cruz has time to settle this. Looking for the near post. And Klinsmann got a touch. And even though it was a full-on chance for Uruguay, if it's a head injury for the player who's down, Karen App should have stopped the game right away. Take a look as it was in that clash between Klinsmann, Ariano, and the Uruguayan player that Ariano went down. Being called on. And then the play allowed to continue, and great job in coming over and cover from Kyle Duncan and Lucatero tracking back, because most players would have looked to pick out that far corner, but as soon as Kyle Duncan came over, the far corner was taken away, and the only place De La Cruz could go with that shot was near post, and Klinsmann got down well. So Ariano talking with the trainer as he went up, and it looks like he was taken out by Klinsmann as Klinsmann was going for that ball. And then the sub, Juan Ramirez, was able to win it off both of them. And Ramirez played that pass into space. I'm kind of surprised he didn't try and chip the keeper. Good news is that Arellano looks to be okay. Thing is, when a player hits his head, you never really know. So the U.S. training staff will go through the protocol, make sure that he's all right. The fourth official coming over to check on Arellano. He gives him the thumbs up. Uruguayan corner is cleared. Not sufficiently, though, and it's sent right back in. Klinsmann coming out. Missing it. De La Cruz plays it across, touch. Great save from Jonathan Klinsmann. Second big save from Klinsmann in quick succession. But the U.S. still under the cosh. Able to clear it, but with everybody back defending, Elney not able to get to it in time. And Uruguay invited to come right back on the attack. Federico Valverde had his shirt held, and now Karen App calls the foul. Lucatero gets in the wall with Jackson Yule. Klinsmann getting ready for the ball, sent into the far side, headed back across by De La Cruz. Arellano is back out there, and he heads it, but right back to De La Cruz. And Uruguay going forward again. Into the box, Amuz is up there, heads it across goal. And it will be another corner kick, fifth of the game for the Uruguayans. Up next for the U.S. in this tournament will be the Czech Republic on Monday. That one a 5 p.m. Pacific start. In the final game of this cycle for these 97s. It's the cross coming all the way to the back post. And it's Arellano who's there once again. Has to concede another corner though. Sixth of the game for Uruguay. Uruguay on Monday will have a friendly against Jolos before ending the tournament on Wednesday against the Czech Republic. Corner kick bypasses everyone, goes out for a goal kick. Final 12 minutes plus change. And it's the visitors sitting comfortably with a 2-0 lead. Goals in the 36th minute from Martin Amuz and the 60th minute from Pereira. And here's Pereira. Tremendous tackle on the far side. And Emmanuel Sebi brought down. No foul, says the referee, just a thrown for Uruguay. One back by Pelaez. Sabi gets it forward. Helped on. Sabi continued his run. And sliding in to make the challenge was Nicolas Rodriguez. Now De La Cruz looks like he's covered every blade of grass in this game. Was all the way on the far side collecting that ball to cross it in just moments ago. Now on this near side, winning the ball in the center and bringing it out. It's Perez. Cuts inside. Little flick over from Federico Valverde. Gets it back from De La Cruz. Stellar combination play from the Uruguayans. And Juan Ramirez is in. Still going Ramirez. Unable to tap it beyond Klinsmann. The rebound. Another tremendous save by Klinsmann. Stellar goalkeeping from Jonathan Klinsmann. First foiling Juan Ramirez on the breakaway. As Ramirez skipped past the slide, Klinsmann came out and made himself as big as possible and then got over in time to make the sprawling save on the second opportunity. Outswinger from the far side, sent right to the penalty area, still bouncing around. And hammered wide. The U.S. can breathe a sigh of relief. So that could have very well been 3-0 heading into these final 10 minutes. Franco Gentile is up in between the benches, getting set to come on for Uruguay. USA with a rare foray forward in this second half. And now the Wanderers striker will get his chance to enter into the tournament. And he is going to replace Pereira, who's had a hand in both goals. The assist on the cross for Martin Amuz after coming over, receiving the short corner, quickly turning and playing it in, and then stealing the ball and making the U.S. pay for poor possession in the back and striking the ball, taking a deflection off of Arellano and into the net, but Pereira getting the credit. And it's because of his work on the 36th minute and the 60th minute that Uruguay has a 2-0 lead. Danubio fans will certainly be interested in his progress and what he's been able to do against the U.S. here today.
Second minute for Uruguay. Entering the game, number 18, Franco Gentile.
And Franco Gentile is on for him.
Number 9, Martin Pereira.
Oh, and going down in the box, and referee pointing to the spot, and it could be a lifeline for the U.S. 82nd minute, and they have a chance to get on the board. Didn't look to be too much in it. A cynical smile from Alejandro Garay to the fourth official. Javier Perez telling Jackson Yule to take it. It's a great job from Sabi to fight his way into the box. And he went down. Whether or not he was looking for it, well, that's up for debate, but nevertheless, the referee points to the spot, and Yule has a chance to cut the deficit in half. It's Yule versus Lopez, and Yule wins. The U.S. are back in it.
Let's go.
And Uruguay taking their time coming back to the center circle. Azul calmly steps up and sends the goalkeeper the wrong way.
Goal in the 83rd minute for the USA, scored by number 20, Jackson Yule.
The Minnesota native scores his first goal for the U18s in 2015. And now it's game on here in the 84th minute. Great darting run into the box from Emmanuel Sabi. The substitute making a real impact, and then another substitute finishing off the penalty. And just like that, it's 2-1 in a very different ball game when it looked like Uruguay was just going to calmly strut across the finish line. All of a sudden, the U.S. have a spring in their step. Amuz's clearance. Heavy touch from Ramirez. Swanson does well not to be muscled off the ball. Uruguay still stepping in, though. That's a great sliding challenge from Kyle Duncan. And good shielding from Pineda. Lucatero coming over to help his defender. And now all of a sudden the U.S. look very comfortable passing around the high pressure of Uruguay. That pass, just a little too much mustard on it. The flag stays down. Franco Gentile squares up to Pineda, gets it back for Valverde. He slipped at the vital moment. Once again, smart distribution from Klinsmann. If it weren't for him, this game would be done and dusted. And now the U.S. have a chance to get it back to 2-2. De La Cruz and Lucatero with the bear hug. Fans screaming for a yellow card. Once again, it was the denial of a counterattack. But Uruguay only got away with no yellow card for the same exact kind of foul in the first half. Now, that's a rugby challenge, if anything. Rodriguez. Good ball pushed in space, played across, and another big save, this time on Gentile from Jonathan Klinsmann. The captain keeping his side in this game. And an excellent job by Pineda so to help put off Juan Ramirez, but he was still able to get a clean hit on that last shot. And Klinsmann did well to come out and cut down that angle. 8th corner kick now for Uruguay. Valverde. Rodriguez. 16-year-old's dispossessed, but wins it right back. Trying to get through Valverde. And he wins the free kick. 3.5 minutes left in regulation. And Federico Valverde will take his time on this free kick. 7 goals in 9 games in the U17 South American Championship earlier this year for Federico Valverde, but he's looking to turn provider here. Five players queued up across the 6. Instead, it's played in short and chested out for a corner kick. Make that 9 now for Uruguay. Valverde over the dead ball once again. Plays it near post. That was almost the knockout blow. Klinsmann happy to see it go over his crossbar. And now trying to get it forward quickly, Klinsmann. 88th minute. Haji. Haji Wright had his pocket pick. Franco Gentile. And that's a definite foul and yellow card. As Kyle Duncan becomes the latest player to go into Karen Knapp's book. And this free kick is from about the exact same position where Saucedo almost scored for the U.S. in the first half. Is Duncan definitely going through the back of Gentile there. Notice the skill of Gentile, though, knowing that Duncan's coming in from behind, so he takes a touch inside to make sure that if Duncan is going to get him, the only way he's going to get him is by going through him. Great job by Franco Gentile to win the free kick for Uruguay. Klinsmann cheating very far over. And if Valverde can bend this one, he has a lot of the goal to aim at, but the wall had firm foundations. Amuz lofts it forward. Duncan somehow able to win that in a slew of Uruguayan players. And Lucatero is fouled. Final minute of the 90. U.S. looking for a last gasp equalizer. Can they find it through Haji Wright? Wright tried to cut inside. Couldn't get past the double team. And Ariano gets it away from Juan Ramirez, but at the expense of a throw-in as more time bleeds off this clock for Uruguay. De La Cruz has certainly been the engine room of this Uruguay side. De La Cruz has been everywhere tonight. Valverde wins the header over Duncan, and Pineda guides it back to his keeper.
The referee has added a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage.
4 minutes for the U.S. to see if they can steal a point. So we are now into stoppage time, but it's Uruguay motoring forward. Beautiful through ball. Klinsmann out. Another tremendous save from Jonathan Klinsmann, keeping the U.S. in this match. Now Uruguay is just taking the ball to the corner. And they win the throw-in. That's very interesting to me. I've watched a ton of Copa Libertadores games. We'll get back to that in a second. Ball threaded through, and the substitute, once again, unable to guide it past Jonathan Klinsmann. Got his angles absolutely right and came out at the right moment. Getting back, I've watched a ton of Copa Libertadores, Copa Sudamericana games, and South American national team games as well. And something South Americans tend not to do. They don't tend to take it to the corner the way European and North American teams do. Free kick in the center circle for the U.S. Just under a minute and a half has elapsed in stoppage time of the 4. Smart header from Duncan. Swanson pokes it back for Lucatero. Lucatero looking for space. Absolutely hounded Lucatero, and the foul is on him. Quickly taken free kick. The flag stays down. Ramirez plays it to the far side. Back to Ramirez. Takes a deflection, and Klinsmann catches it at full stretch. Perez urging his charges forward. Sabi wins the ball. Trying to play it down the line, but Uruguay win it back. Sabi out-muscled. It's another beautiful ball slipped through, but Ramirez unable to get by Arellano. However, he does win a corner kick, and Uruguay can look to keep this ball in the corner should they choose. Either way, the seconds are ticking away here against the U.S. Only one player in the box for Uruguay. I think that makes their intentions clear that they're going to keep this ball in the corner. Duncan fighting the good fight and winning the free kick. Now Duncan asking De La Cruz to move. Now the referee is going to make her take it again. Time is just bleeding off this clock. And with the ball all the way down there, I'm not sure why the referee has to be so stringent, as the U.S. are unable to keep it in. And this should pretty much do it. Final 5 seconds of the minimum 4 minutes added on to this second half. And Uruguay still in possession. Is there time for one more push forward for the Stars and Stripes? Cleared away again. And this should pretty much do it. De La Cruz has Haji right. Ghosting in behind him. He's able to see the pressure. And that will do it. Martin Amuz in the 36th minute off a header from a short corner. And then Gonzalo Pereira, who played the cross in for Amuz, made it 2-0 on the hour mark when he struck on a deflection off of Ariano off a counterattack. The U.S. had new life in the 80th minute when Emmanuel Sabi flew into the box and was taken down. Referee Karen Knapp pointed to the spot, and Jackson Ewell stepped up and calmly slotted it home to give the USA a lifeline, but they never looked like getting the equalizer, as for most of this game it was all Uruguay, and in the end they deserve all 3 points and they take it with a 2-1 win. A reminder to join us again on Monday as the USA face off against the Czech Republic in a rematch from the Vaclav Jezik tournament from last year. And that game will be at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on ussoccer.com and US Soccer's YouTube channel. But for now, it's good night from Glenn Mooch, Marinick Field. I'm Mark Serber signing off where it finishes Uruguay 2 and the US U18 men's national team 1.